Thank you. Pledge allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Patel, is everyone coming in? Can you see?
Choose, okay. You have to be careful.
We're going to wait a few minutes to give everybody a fair chance. Hey, how are you? Yeah. He's here with all the, he's here from the Veterans Memorial. Yeah, really. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Adequate notice of this meeting was provided indicating the time and place the same in accordance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975. Advertised notice in the Star Gazette and the Express Times, but posted a copy in the Board Municipal Building. Roll call, please.
Here.
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 Here. Executive session statement, please.
We were in executive session for approximately 30 minutes. The topics of discussion were contractual, personnel, and litigation regarding Strikers Golf tax appeal. The minutes from that meeting shall be available at such time as the need for confidentiality no longer exists.
Thank you. First item, motion to go out of executive session?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Public comment on agenda items only?
Carlos Correa. I would appreciate if you can wait until everybody makes it into the room, because they gotta go through the scanner, and then it's like, it's not their fault that they're here on time and they just start the meeting and they cannot hear everything that goes around. So I would appreciate if you can start until everybody's in.
We'll give it a couple more minutes. Sure. We're not going to wait that long.
And on the agenda items, I wonder if you can go more into detail about number 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, we will.
Wait.
All right, we'll hold on until everybody gets.
Oh, okay.
In the meantime, I'm going to invite so they can be on their way. Mr. Nixon, on behalf of the Lopatcong Veterans War Memorial, for he and his associates to come forward and talk to us about their project, so that those gentlemen do not have to spend the evening here if they don't want to. So, Mr. Nixon, Mr. Lee, welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mayor and members of Town Council. It's a pleasure to be here. We are representing the Lopatcong Veterans Memorial Committee, and I would like to make everyone aware of who is serving on that committee. We have Terry Lee. Terry is a Coast Guard veteran. We have Connie Mellert. Connie's an Air Force veteran. Myself, being a Navy veteran. Terry Stalker, Marine veteran. Brian Weeks, Lopatcong Department of Public Works Superintendent, and Gary Wolf, Navy veteran. We are serving on the committee to develop a Lopatcong Veterans Memorial in the township, and I've given you a copy of the people who are also contributing to everything that we're doing. The Lopatcong Veterans Memorial site will be placed at the Lopatcong Municipal Park, at the base of the walking path near the Green Acres sign in the park layout display. Would be in this area right here. Yes, sir. pad will be 10 by 20 stamped concrete pad. And there'll be a memorial stone, a marker, gray granite, which we purchased through the Phillipsburg Memorial Company. And it will be brought to us from Vermont. And the verbiage on the marker was agreed upon by the members of the committee. And I would like to share with you the verbiage that will be on that marker. In honor of all courageous men and women of Lopatcong Township who, to defend America's freedom, served, died, or remain missing from our armed forces. We are grateful for their sacrifice. This will be dedicated May 17th, 2014, and that will also be on the marker. There'll be 2 flagpoles, 20-foot flagpoles, externally lighted, one for the American flag, one for the POW MIA flag. There'll be electricity installed at the site that will light the poles, flags, and electrical outlets. We're recommending for future use that this site be used for memorial ceremonies, families, community, veterans to pay their respects, teaching moment for our youth and our families, so we can properly dispose of unserviceable American flags. We can install benches at a later date. We can hold an annual Veterans Memorial tribute there, a ceremony. There's discussion about holding a baseball tournament there, which would coincide with a veterans program at the same time. So a lot of use can be made of this area. We also, as part of this committee, knew that we had to identify who our Lopatcong Township veterans were. We weren't sure. Through some dogged work by Connie Mellert and Terry Stalker, and of course the other members of the committee, we have identified over 300 veterans in our township and over 70 widows or widowers of veterans in our township. We also have uncovered who we think is our oldest living veteran in the township, and that would be Terry Lee's uncle. He's 94 years old. He's a World War II veteran. He was a POW. We also uncovered 2 MIAs, and we also uncovered 4 KIAs from World War I, and we know that we have 2 KIAs from Vietnam. We are actively pursuing donations, and I listed for you some of the process that we're using to solicit for those donations, and we'll be working at that so we can cover the expenses for the site. The dedication ceremony is scheduled for May 17th, 2014. That is a Saturday. There is no rain date, so start doing your anti-rain dance now. And it will be held at the Lopatcong Municipal Park at the Lopatcong Veterans Memorial Site. We are presently working on that dedication ceremony and what will take place pre-ceremony and post-ceremony. Plans are under construction, along with our Recreation Committee in the Township and our Youth Athletic Association. We will be including a field of flags for which people may purchase a flag which will be installed on the field. The entire Lopatcong Township community will be invited. Everyone will receive a letter inviting them, along with our veterans and the families of our veterans. The Lopatcong School District has been invited, band and choir, to perform. The middle school student will read an essay. There'll be an essay contest. Students attending the high school from Lopatcong, I'm working on that to have them involved in some way. There'll be several veterans organizations attending. This will be very military in style, okay? We will be posting the colors, and we're working on all those contacts right now. Red Ball, a local military historical restoration organization, will be there with their vehicles. I understand maybe 25 restored military vehicles. The Daughters of the American Revolution have contacted me already, having found out about this, and they will be there. We will be sending invitations out to our police department, our fire departments, our emergency squad, and all other volunteer organizations and civic organizations in the township and surrounding communities. The Veterans Memorial Committee would also like to request that a portion of the road leading to the Lopatcong Municipal Park be named Veterans Way and properly identified before the scheduled dedication ceremony. Work will continue with regard to identifying our township veterans. Criteria is simple. Any veteran who lived in Lopatcong Township at any time. We would like to display their names, branch of service, and years served somewhere in our township eventually. Work for the Lopatcong Veterans Memorial Committee will continue until the project is complete and identify projects related to our township veterans, our comrades, and their families are developed and completed. We thank you very much for all the support you've given us. I came to the mayor many months ago about this concept, and he has been extremely cooperative and has given us the green light to do everything we need to do to make this happen. So we're well underway.
Thank you, Mr. Nixon.
Questions?
Council have any questions?
Thank you very much.
Sir. Gentlemen, thank you all very, very much.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Give those gentlemen a chance to collect their things. All right, so public comment. Mr. Carrera, you had a comment? Yeah, Carlos, you had something you wanted to say? Public comment, agenda items only. You were asking about 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to go over a little
Yeah, we'll go over them. Yeah, if you have a comment about them, feel free to make it. Otherwise, when we get to each one, we'll go over them. In fact, we have the representatives from this election.
I came in early to ask for number 1 and 2 to
Yeah.
see if I could
They're
read them
gonna
before, but I was told I couldn't. So
Okay.
basically, I cannot make any comment on something I haven't read.
They're going to be explained in depth to all of us in a matter of seconds.
All right, thank you.
You're very welcome. Any other comments? All right, moving on to item 1. Under old businesses, to approve the minutes of the February 5, 2004 meeting. Everyone's had a chance to read and review those. Questions, comments, or corrections? Motion? Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? And then number 2 is to adopt a resolution authorizing the appointment of Jonathan Erickson as sergeant provisionally. If you recall last month, Sergeant Erickson was appointed by us. This is the authorizing resolution to confirm that appointment. So again, if everyone's had a chance to read and review and there's no questions or corrections, motion item 2. Second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, item number 3 is ordinance number 14-01, second reading and public hearing to abolish the Recreation Commission and in its place instead to create a Recreation Committee for the benefit of the folks at the dais and in the audience. Ms. Campbell, maybe you could give everyone the benefit of the legal distinction between the commission and the committee, and then we'll open it for public hearing.
Recreation Commission is governed by specific statutes and regulations, members, gives some rights and obligations that committee doesn't. And the committee allows the more members, which we were in fact had this on the book, even though we were on the book. This is more in line with what we were always doing, but it's the committee. The committee is under the council committee, and the township mayor appoints the members.
It's my understanding that you guys have all your members, or most of them, right?
Advisory. It is advisory. They don't make any money or.
We no longer have to stand to the guidelines of the New Jersey Recreation Commission.
Correct. All right, so motion to open item 3 for public hearing. Yep, is there a second? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Folks, questions or comments? Motion to close?
I just want to make
yeah.
an observation. The current members of that commission will be reappointed.
Motion to close the public hearing?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right. Questions or comments from council? Consistent with what Councilwoman McCabe just said, it's my understanding that you guys will be submitting the names. A lot of them are carryovers from those that are presently serving. We're going to have a budget workshop, correct? Next Tuesday. Do you have a time? 7 p.m. Budget workshop next Tuesday at 7. If you guys can bring the names, I think the only thing that we didn't do is we don't have all 7 names. We don't have all the names that you needed. So if you bring the names to the meeting on the 7th, we can approve them then. But in the meantime, assuming council votes that way.
We have a recreation committee meeting on Monday, so we can be the chairman.
Got it. We can adopt the, just bring the recommendations in and we'll run through that night. So if there are no other questions or comments from council, is there a motion on item 3? Second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Under new business, item number 1 is a resolution to authorize the application to the local finance board for its approval of a proposed refunding bond ordinance authorizing the payment of amounts owed by the township to the owners of various properties for taxes levied in the township. Why don't you kind of talk about 1 and 2 together, if you will, give everybody the benefit of the background, what kind of sums we're talking about, why we're doing what you're asking us to consider doing.
Good evening. Tonight you have a resolution before you.
You're going to need to talk to the microphone though, because the tape will not pick it up. Yeah, sorry about that. We don't have any choice.
Tonight you have a resolution before you which authorizes you to prepare an application to the local finance board. What this application will do is give the finance board an opportunity to review your 3 tax appeals that have been settled and give you the ability to pay back that tax appeal over the course of 5 years. This coincides with the bond ordinances, that is number 2, and what that bond ordinance is for a $993,000 payback over those 5 years. And the reason we're asking for 5 years is to limit the tax impact on the average local taxpayer. If it's paid back over 1 year, there would be a $275 increase to the average local taxpayer. If it's paid back over the course of 5 years, there would be a $58 increase to the average local taxpayer. So what the resolution does, it allows you to file an application. The ordinance enables you to pay back those sums.
A breakdown of what the sums were, or do you have a breakdown of what the sums are? I think they're, oh, I'm sorry, here they are. So the Phillipsburg Mall, in my understanding of the essence of the Phillipsburg Mall refund is that it had been assessed at $80 million. And it was sold recently for 11.5. Okay. Then there was an instant appeal as a result of the what they perceived to be an overassessment for the tax years 2009, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Ms. Campbell in her office, in negotiating with the new owners of the mall, were able to get them to withdraw the appeals for 2009 and 10, which I guess saved us another roughly $800,000 in refunds, and is recommending that we accept the appeals for the remaining 3 years, 11, 12, and 13, $793,198.10. The former Avantor headquarters, 222 Red School Lane, was apparently sold at auction for $396,000, but then turned around and sold, I guess, in 2013 for roughly $1 million, $950,000. The parties agreed to an assessment of $1.6 million, is my understanding, which results in a refund from us of $28,998.94. And the last is Strikers Golf, which is sort of an interesting one. Strikers Golf filed appeals for 2010 through 13. They were able to negotiate a withdrawal of the 2010 appeal, correct? Even 11, 12, and 13. The refund amount there is $159,262.54. However, it's my understanding that they're in arrears to the township for a little more than $160,000, correct? The law requires, or we require, that they can't pursue their appeal or we issue a refund until they pay their back taxes. So it's my understanding that they're borrowing, Strikers is borrowing the money to pay us, and then we have to refund them the $159,262.50. And I think that makes up the roughly, what number did you give us? 9 and 2. And it's also my understanding that by going to the local finance board, there are a multitude of options that we can ask that it be repaid back over a series of years, anywhere from 1, 3, 5, or even 7 years. But I guess the cutoff is at below $50, an impact of $50 per, is it household, I guess, for average residential households. The board won't consider it. So we're at just for the $58 gets us to 5 years. Okay. Did you guys handle the one in White Township a few years back when they had the big appeal for? Give me the rundown of those. What were the White Township ones, and how did they end up with the local finance board? White Township was that the old Hop and LaRoche? Okay. What was the amount there? $3.5 million. Okay. Belvedere had BASF. What was the other one? Pohat? I don't remember. What was Pohat? Was that as a result of the mall too? Yeah, but they had like 60-some% of the mall. The bottom line, folks, is in order to not have to impose this burden on all of us in a single year, we're looking to be able to pay it back over a period of time. But the fact of the matter is, those properties sold at far less than what they had previously been appraised for. And as a result, well, not the golf course, they've been appealing for years, but the golf course just, it is what it is in terms of values of golf courses, I guess, these days. The other two were based on retail purchases of those two properties that were far less than their previously assessed values. So that's the situation we find ourselves in. But as you hear Ms. Campbell and Mr. Evans indicate, fortunately, we're better off than our neighbors in Pohat and some of the other folks that have had to go through similar situations in the past with substantial appeals. So, questions or comments from other council members of financial advisors?
What is the assessment of the mall?
Actually, you got the assessment of the mall. They actually agreed to pay more, right? Let me get it up.
They bought the mall in 2013 for $11.5 million.
Mhm.
And just for our 30%, we have them over that amount. They agreed to pay over that. We didn't agree that.
Oh, right, no.
But definitely, we think that was a pretty good negotiation. They had a
For our
sale.
part.
Right.
You know what the whole value is between Pohat and Lopatcong?
It's not online yet.
Okay.
So we're clear. We can't go back and ask to stretch this out to 7 because you're telling us it's going to be a mandatory denial.
I have a question. Just to be clear, so our audience can understand. When you say 1 year, if we had to pay back, say we choose to pay back in 1 year, it would be $275
The year,
average,
the average local
Average.
tax.
just a one-time
That's
275. Now, if we stretch this out over 5 years, it's $58, $58 a year,
Mhm.
5 years.
Correct.
Okay, which would be, okay, so we have an understanding here. Thank you.
Any other questions from council?
The only other question I have is that everybody now has been reassessed and they're in the tax book for the new rate.
Motion on item 1.
Motion.
Second. Roll call, please.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Yes. Now, item 2 secures the funds to do that. That's okay. So item number 2 is to introduce ordinance number 2014-3 as a first reading of the bond ordinance to refund the payment amounts to various property owners due to the tax appeal settlements. What was the total sum again? 981.
No, 993.
Oh, you had to, that's right. You had $11,000 or something in soft cost. So 993 and change. Motion on item. Questions or comments on item 2? Motion.
second,
Roll call, please.
Yes.
yes,
Yes.
Yes. Miss Campbell pointed out to me, I apologize, that part of our doing items 1 and, thank you, gentlemen, both very much. Part of our handling items 1 and 2 includes the $159,262.54 to Strikers Golf, which I made previous reference. But council has not accepted that sum yet by way of settlement. It's Ms. Campbell's recommendation that we do so, for the reasons. So with that caveat attached, if there are any other questions or comments from council, is there a motion to accept the $159,262.54, subject to the payment of Strikers Golf's arrears first?
Motion.
Ms. Snyder's motion, is there a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes. All right, so that takes care of 1 and 2, and that takes care of the Strikers. Moving on to item 3, is a resolution authorizing an addition of 1/12 of the 2013 municipal budget. And I'm going to read this a little differently than it's written, because at least when I review my packet before, this is the way I understand it, Betty, and I didn't read it that way. It doesn't read that way when I look at it. Resolution authorizing an addition of 1/12 of the 2013 municipal budget and 1/12 of the 2013 sewer operating budget. Is that correct? Okay, so they're two separate items. To the 2014 municipal budget and 2014 sewer operating budget, correct? Municipal operating budget in the amount of $489,235, and the sewer operating budget in the amount of $131,181. Yeah, you're transferring a third of last year's, whatever was left over, I guess, into the leftover. Okay.
Once the budget is passed, that will be taken out and then the budget.
Got it. Okay. Understood. Any questions from Ms. Stokes?
So, so just to understand, there's not a surplus, we're just switching
Using
money
last
until
year's
we.
budget, local
Okay.
finance 2014-15, local budget law allows us to do that.
Okay.
We're using last year's budget number until we have an approval of a budget number for this year.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay. Any other questions or comments from Ms. Stokes? Motion on item 3?
Motion.
Snyder, second?
Second.
That's okay.
Okay.
Motion, second?
Second. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Item number 4, we heard the presentation, the Lopatcong Veterans War Memorial Dedication Ceremony. I want to ask council to consider tonight approving the renaming of Amy Street to Veterans Way in anticipation and recognition of the efforts of the Township's veterans, and also in recognition of the soon-to-be a memorial there based on Mr. Nixon's request and that of his Veterans Committee. Just ask this, there was no reason why Amy Street was dedicated. I mean, that's a family name from around here. It wasn't dedicated as Amy Street years ago for any reason, was it, that we're now?
I had a suggestion. They want to leave it as Amy coming in. And when you get to St. Charles Alley, that's where they wanted to start, St. George. They wanted to start to, they discussed this last night, they wanted to be, start Veterans Way at that intersection. And so, because they didn't want to trample on the family.
Got it. Brian, with that son. Yeah, you might.
Yeah.
It won't get picked up.
See that it's Veterans Way. All right, so we were talking about it, we don't know exactly, but
So the request is going to run it right up to
right up.
Sudbury
So
Road.
we can do it, okay.
Nobody has there's no mailing addresses on Amy, are there?
No.
It's just the dedicated street. Okay. And it wasn't named that way when we because somebody gave us the land for the pool or somebody gave us the land for the park or anything? Jim? No? All right. Well, no problems doing it.
The only thing you'll have to do, Amy Street is mentioned in chapter 227 of your ordinance, which is your traffic regulations. So at some time in the future, when we do another traffic ordinance, we would make that
Make that amendment.
change at that point.
Introduce it
It's the only
now.
consequence.
Can we make that introduction tonight too, to try to keep it consistent, or don't we have to?
I think it's vital. I think
Okay.
we can wait. It's going to be a traffic ordinance at some point this year. I think we just do it at that time.
Okay, we'll just make a note so we don't forget. Any other council members have any questions or concerns with making the name change?
No, I just want to make sure that that is the case. If that's a definite, that there's no name that's being, that was dedicated, that's a definite, or we don't,
You know what? That's a good point.
think so?
Well, is it, it's a one-time thing, right? We can make, the day we make the vote here, we can change the street signs, right?
Correct.
All right. Because we don't require any other DOT approvals because it doesn't connect between county roads or anything like that. Why don't we do this? Why don't we see if we can find out what we can about why it was Amy Street, if there's any history at all before, it's Bill Baker, he remembers all this stuff. Somebody's got to know. Connie Mellard will know.
He's on the committee.
Nothing?
Nothing?
If you don't know, nobody's going to know. Okay. Just try to do some digging, see what we can find out. My only concern would be that was dedicated for some family reason sometime back. And I think it would be incumbent on us to respect that. In fact, it was done for some particular purpose. We go back to the time when the property was dedicated for the pool, see if something was done then, and I can't think of anything that might have been before that. Jim? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Anything else? So why don't you put on the agenda for April? There'll be plenty of time to get it done for May if we decide to do it. Be mindful of Schneider's and my concerns. Just wait, see if we can pick something up. Anybody else? All right, so we can hold off on that. Items number 1 through 12 are a consent agenda, reflecting several grant applications, approving resolutions regarding the redemptions of certain tax sale certificates, transfer of appropriations for municipal appropriation reserve budget, and the approval of the appointment of Mr. Lelko as the soccer director to the LAA based on the LAA's request of us, the donation of a individual pool pass to the Warren County Technical School PTA, a bandwidth rights-of-way agreement for them to run their fiber optic lines along our poles, and a request from fire company number 2 for a junior member. Pool number 11. Yep.
So I have a letter drafted with this
So we'll do that separate. All right, so consent agenda items 1 through 12, omitting 11. Any questions or comments? Motion?
Motion.
Second? Roll call, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and then a motion authorizing Ms. Campbell to send a letter to PEG Bandwidth regarding their proposed rights-of-way agreement. Again, based on her recent recommendation. Motion? Anybody? Second?
Second. Yes.
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 Yes, thank you. Council reports. Ms. Schneider?
For Department of Public Works, Community Forestry Management Plan, it's expired, our Community Management Forestry Plan. So we need to create a new plan, and courses are required to become compliant with the state. There's a combination of 2 people who need to take the courses, a combination of 2 people in the town. It could be a volunteer, it could be an elected official, it could be somebody that works in the town. Brad Decker and I have committed to getting us compliant for 2015. The New Jersey Forestry program may not seem like it's important, but it is something of great importance because without approved status, our liability protection against hazardous trees or diseased trees becomes, it just doesn't, we have nothing. So we would like to get us compliant. Approved status gives us also eligibility for grants to assist in the implementation. Since we have a very small budget to work with, grants are very important for compliancy. Our recycling program is also managed by Brad. I plan to sit down with Brad when he returns. I registered to attend a Warren County recycling seminar on April 3rd with a speaker from the Department of Environmental Protection. Hopefully, I'll get some insight on their expectations from us. Potholes have been aplenty in the town, but Brian and the crew have actively been out on the major roads trying to get the really deep potholes, so this way your cars are not severely damaged, like I've been hearing from so many folks in the area. So they've been out diligently trying to temporarily fix the potholes with just like it's just a soft material. Yes, cold patch. Thank you. It's cold patch. Until the weather gets warmer, then we can permanently fix the potholes. If anyone knows of any that are really deep that we have not found, or that the guys have not found, please call one of us, me, the Department of Public Works, to make sure that we get those taken care of. They did the major roads. Now they're kind of looking around into the neighborhoods for those. The Board of Education. The last Board of Education meeting, the Board of Ed has begun its trial period for BA. His name is Bill Bauer, and as Assistant BA Maureen. They're on a trial period until June. They are also BAs for Phillipsburg, for their school district. Our superintendent, Ms. Roncaroni, reports that they are doing a great job as far as responses to staff's emails, to their phone calls, to their requests. And just so you know, they do not work out of our buildings. They are in the Phillipsburg school building. So they're not here, they're not in our buildings quite often, but their return phone calls have been very good. The series of 3 strategic planning meetings have taken place. The first one was held on February 18th. Purpose, according to the mission statement, is to provide each and every student the tools and education foundation needed to meet or exceed New Jersey core curriculum content standards. The first topic that the focus groups just talked about were strengths, achievements, and challenges of our school district. Small groups brainstormed and shared ideas, and then they presented all the ideas to everyone who attended. The data was collected and then put into a program, and the results will be on the school website. I believe they may be on there right now. For anyone interested in attending those meetings, all can attend. The next meeting is March 18th at 7 p.m. They're about an hour and a half long, and the topic for the next meeting is to create a shared vision together. And that's all I have.
Thank you very much. Well, Carol?
Yeah, I have an update on Route 57 pump station. Due to the snow-covered ground, the contractor cannot get his equipment there. But he is expected to get it on Monday since the weather's finally starting to break. Thanks, Brian, for stopping the snow dance. And as per Dan Madden, who's our sewer engineer, and this is a request from the contractor, I'm asking for an authorization from council, all right, to hire a contractor to come out and do marking for a line which connects Baltimore Street pump station and Route 57, which is currently right now. See, there is another part to it, which is call before you dig, and they come out, utility companies come out and do it for free, and they do their markings, you know, for water lines, electrical, and etc. This is different. This is falls on the responsibility of the Lopatcong Township to find out where the sewer line is. They don't know where it is, so the cost is approximately $700. He's estimating, so we need authorization to approve that and hire a contractor to come out and do markings for that. Would you like to make a motion?
Second. Comment? Question?
Yes.
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 The second part is Chapman, we had 4 alarms in 5 days, and this is on a Stonehenge pump station. And the issue again is with rags. They've been addressing it, and obviously, not being successful to find out where it's coming from. So every time these rags get flushed down a sewer line, it jams up the impellers. So what the recommendation is here is to purchase new impellers, which would be a non-clog type impellers, as suggested by pump manufacturer. Now, the cost for this is approximately $6,800 to do this, because you weigh in the cost of calling out Chapman every time the alarm goes off, coming there and removing this clog. So you weigh out the cost, and from here and on forward, and it's been an ongoing problem. So this is something we're going to continue to look into, and right now $6,800 is about the price we're looking at. And if we find something cheap, we'll definitely get back to it and look, go ahead and move with this. But it is a wise investment for now. Yes, right now.
You're asking for approval up to $6,800, and you're gonna try to get it, you're gonna try to find others, is that what you're saying? Did I misunderstand?
Yeah, yes, we'll try to find, see if we do better. But that's the price right now. So if anybody that knows or is aware of someone flushing rags.
I thought you were gonna ask if anybody knew anybody that had the impellers.
I'll second that. If anybody knows impellers.
It should save.
Yeah, should.
Yes. But we have a problem with someone flushing rags. So, and it's been ongoing for quite some time now. Yeah, so that's a problem. What's that? We're gonna find it.
It's tracing the rags.
I think we got to get some DNA on that stuff.
Yeah, it might be a lot of DNA.
That'll be it. Thank you.
You want a motion up to $6,800?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion up to $6,800, please.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion from council?
I just have a question, Lou. Do you know how much the calls are approximately? I don't know if you said that.
No.
They're in the thousands per one phone call?
You have to come out and, because you're paying Chapman, and then they call out a contractor to come in on clog, and then this has been multiple times.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? Good.
What is an impeller?
It's an impeller. That's the motor that basically churns the sewage as it gets to the plant, and then sends it back, defying gravity back in the direction that it's supposed to. We need to be going.
So how does it not clog?
I have no idea. You'll have to ask the engineers. I have no clue. All right.
Brian?
Okay, all right. Oh, okay, all right. Mm-hmm. Right. Okay, so these impellers will shred it. It won't get clogged. Okay, I get it. Thank you.
But that won't mean it's okay to keep throwing rags
No,
on the
no.
sewer.
Not everyone.
Right.
We have a motion, a second. Any other comment?
Motion?
Yeah, we already have it. Motion,
Okay.
second.
Yes.
All
You had a second.
right.
Mhm.
So roll call, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Anything else? Mr. McKay?
All right, I have a few reports. February 20th, we had our annual safety committee meeting. In this meeting, we reviewed the importance of safety issues, such as handling the reporting of incidents in a timely manner and thoroughly investigating them. Secondly, making sure that the municipality's equipment is safe and up to date and maintained properly. To ensure that our turnout gear is in proper working condition and updated as needed. Third, to ensure that necessary training is provided and up to date for the employees that require the training for their particular position. Our loss control consultant stated that Lopat is in good shape regarding the above issues, and he offered to look into any requested specific training that department may be. Secondly, planning board. We had a meeting on February 26th. We appointed Joe Pryor as vice chairman, and we swore in John Kosar as our alternate member. We approved minutes, passed the resolution regarding the Phillipsburg Mall, the minor subdivision. which we're allowing them to spin off the Friendlies ad. Friendlies will now be paying their taxes directly to Lopat, not being paid to the mall owners. We also reviewed a draft of the ROM zone study. It's currently being prepared by our professional planner, George. This is a study of the township's industrial zoned lands as relating to Lopat's Highlands Center District, which was established by the Highlands Council pursuant to the Highlands Regional Master Plan. The purpose of the study was to provide the planning board with data necessary to prepare any recommendations to council regarding any zoning amendments or the ROM, if any come up in the future. For example, in 2004, the planning board adopted an ordinance that permitted mixed-use properties on those land parcels and made it to be 50 acres. So the study's not finalized yet, and we'll continue to review that at our next meeting, our next planning board. Next, our Economic Development Advisory Committee. We had our first meeting on February 20th. Members we met, were very positive, and they had some great ideas. We're working on, plans to assist our current businesses in the community and how to attract new businesses to Lopat. We want to work on our community business relationships and see how best we can work together to benefit each other. We have another meeting scheduled for later this month, and we hope to continue planning and eventually implement some of our ideas. Lastly, I met with the Brakely Park Tenants Association last week. Brakely Park is an important part of our community. Many of our senior citizens live in Brakely Park. And they had an issue. One of their questions was that we had passed an ordinance, I believe, June of last year, allowing decreases in rent due to market conditions. And they advised that the management company was not adhering to that. So I told them that I would work with our rent leveling board and with Kathy DeVos to try to address this issue and see if we can help the senior citizens over there that are being affected by it. I also let them know if they had any further questions or issues that they can reach out to me, and we'll try to assist them in any way. And lastly, I know everybody probably knows this already, but the toll bridge, our toll bridge over here, they're going to start again with their rehabilitation project. I believe they're starting on painting as of, I think it's this week or next week, and they're going to be putting up a suspended platform. So the 2 lanes that are going westbound will be open, 1 lane each for eastbound, westbound, and the 2 lanes that are coming eastbound are going to be shut down for the painting. So lots of fun ahead.
They announced something today too. It's down to 1 lane approaching the bridge as of today.
Oh, yeah. So plan accordingly, and that's it. That's everything.
Thanks, Mr. Kaden. Ms. Cheslin?
All right, and I'll start with the LAA. As you know, and I've been mentioning in my council reports for some time now, the LAA has been working on finishing their bylaws. The bylaws that were last adopted by the LAA and last approved by council were done in 2001. They started working on some new bylaws in 2008. Kind of went by the wayside. They picked it up again with their new president, President Lutz. And at our February meeting, they adopted their new bylaws. So I'd like to make a motion for council to approve the bylaws that the LAA has adopted.
Is there a second? Discussion? Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 As you know, we approved Garrett Loco as the soccer director. A little background on him: he's been a high school coach for 15 years. He was named the Express Times Girls Soccer Coach of the Year in 2007 and 2009. He's a teacher at North Hunterdon High School. He's a Lopat coach to both his son and daughter. I believe I know he grew up in the area. I think he's from Lopat. And he's going to be a huge asset to our program. He will pick his assistant director once he is settled in. Part of the new bylaws was the addition of assistant directors for each sport, because we do realize that managing a sport is very time consuming. So each sport may have 1 assistant director, with the exception of football, which may have up to 2. The assistant directors are picked by the LAA directors, and they are as follows. Football is Brad Cherry and Richard Price. Baseball is John Remian. Softball is Sean Leahy. Twirling is Gwen Ola. Cheering is Danielle Frick. Wrestling is Bill Green. And basketball is Dan Pace. The other thing for the LAA is that they are planning a baseball camp on May 24th, Saturday, that will be here in Lopatcong. The baseball camp is going to be free. It is run on donations. Part of this camp includes we're going to have at least one majorly known Major League ball player, retired, coming here, along with about 7 others who will actually train these kids all day in their camp, and they'll have some games going on. It's a really big program. It's going to be advertised across the county, and like I said, it is free because it's going to be running on donations. There's also going to be a little meet and greet session afterwards where we're going to make posters for them, and they're going to be able to get all their little autographs. So as we get more information, I'll give that to you. Moving on to the Recreation Committee, as you heard today, there is a Veterans Memorial being planned for May 17th. That's actually Armed Forces Day at 11 a.m. We are in need for donations for that too. I think Mr. Nixon went over that pretty well. They are really working very hard. I saw the plans for the memorial. It's going to be pretty amazing, and they're putting a lot of effort into this. So letters will be going out because, again, with an explanation of what's going on, they want the whole community here if they possibly can. They're going to be looking for donations, and they're also doing the Field of Flags, where you can buy a flag in honor of anybody that you have in the armed forces, and they're going to lay them all out in a field. They're probably going to put little ribbons on them, and they're all going to be, it's going to look really, really nice. And then you can take the flag home afterwards. We also have the Easter egg hunt. That'll be Saturday, April 12th at 10 a.m. Our rain date is April 19th at 2 p.m. That's open to toddlers up till 9 years old. And of course, if you want to donate for that too, that doesn't hurt. Updates, what else did I have? We're also looking to find a better way for bikers and walkers to access, to get around town and also to get across into the park. So we have some ideas on that, and as we cement them, I'll come back and give you more on that. We're hopefully going to plan a pavilion cleanup and refresh event where we're going to have everybody come out to see if we can clean up the pavilion because we want to make it look as nice as we possibly can for the rentals. Lopatcong Day is Saturday, August 30th. We had Mr. Mengucci came to our last meeting to give us a little history on some of the things that we've been checking out, like Bike Paths and Delaware Park School. We're trying to see what was going on with that. So I thank you for coming and bringing all the history of Lopat with you. I also went to an Advancer Community Advisory Panel meeting on February 27th, and different members of the community are invited to this, the superintendent of schools, the principal, all different groups like Northwest Cap, United Way, Catholic Charities. The speaker this time was Sarah Beverly from the United Way, and she gave a presentation on what is probably the hardest hit community in New Jersey, which is people who are working. They have income, but it's not enough to survive in this state. And the United Way, Northwest Cap, and Catholic Charities all work with everybody, but they work heavily with these groups, providing housing, affordable housing, and food. Again, any of those groups, if you want to volunteer your time or your money, they are always looking for help. I think that's it.
Thanks. Just a couple property updates. Internal demolition, I'm understanding, has begun at the 222 Red School Lane site, where I understand Coordinated Health is looking to locate new offices. It's also my understanding that they're going to be making application to the board soon.
Yes.
So that building hopefully will be occupied soon. They also have longer term plans to do a lot more with that property, hopefully increase the ratables that are generated from it, as well as get a nice new business in town. Secondly, based on my last communication with the realtors involved with Ingersoll Rand. They are close to coming to a contract. In fact, there's a contract being exchanged with potential buyers of it, the 100 and some acres that is presently in Lopatcong Township. The only other item I have to deal with, somewhat personnel related, we received a resignation from Brian Race of our DPW, who had previously been serving as the Recycling and Clean Communities Coordinator. He received a $2,000 a year stipend for that, if I'm not mistaken. He returned the $2,000 stipend and asked that we find someone else to assume those responsibilities. Mr. Decker, also from the DPW, has indicated that he would assume them. So I'd like to ask council's approval, one, accepting Mr. Race's resignation, and two, accepting Mr. Decker as the new Recycling and Clean Communities Coordinator, same rate. Right? All right. Motion. So second?
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Yes.
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 Yes, that's all I have. Oh, that's not all I have. Budget workshop. We're holding a budget workshop we've never really done that before, but based on some comments from the new council members, we thought it would be helpful to dedicate an evening to kind of tearing through the budget, take a look at it, and have some discussion over the various items and see how we can, especially since we have a lot of new members, have some more in-depth discussion on the budget itself. So we're going to hold a budget workshop on Tuesday, March 11th, so next Tuesday at 7 p.m. here at the municipal building for anyone who would like to attend, and we can all talk budget then. Other than that, what? Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, we've also received a letter from Warren County. Warren County Office of Public Safety from Frank Wheatley, who the Warren County serves as the Warren County Community as Director of Public Safety. They forwarded to us the Warren County Municipal Mutual Aid and Assistance Memorandum of Understanding for the various municipalities to sign on to. Everyone has had a chance, I assume, to take a look at it. We discussed it earlier. Council's had it. Ms. Diltz has gone through it. And Chief LaFord as well, and is recommending that we sign in. It's really memorializing the same what's been gone on in past practice in terms of the various municipalities chipping in for each other when there are problems. But by putting it in disagreement format, we're able to also make application for instance, FEMA funding and so forth if there are ever emergencies and we end up having to go cover in another municipality that we weren't previously able to do. So I need council's permission for us to execute the Warren County Municipal Mutual Aid and Assistance Memorandum. Second. Discussion? None? Roll call, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sorry about that. I think that does it then. Okay, so, Manager, Ms. Stokes, Mr. Sturbins,
Nothing, Mr. Mayor.
motion to approve department reports? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Pay bills?
Motion.
Second? Roll call, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Folks, questions, comments? Mr. Hall?
Regarding the Amy Street issue,
Yes.
John Amy was our mayor from 1892 to 1896.
I asked the wrong person. Come on, Mr. Mellor, you were around right around then, weren't you?
I'm over
All right, I understand that, and I know that we have roads named after other families. It'll be something council's gonna have to weigh. My chief concern was really that it wasn't dedicated to somebody somewhere down the road, that there's an expectation that it might stay that way for in perpetuity. So I appreciate that, Bruce, very much. Council should take that under advisement, just whatever information we can get between now and when we look at it again next month.
Signs up.
I've seen some towns have both signs up.
Like that decorative sign on top.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
Just the Veterans Way and, yeah. This might go back to having it at that intersection. Yeah. Okay. Then it wouldn't matter. You can see it from the road.
Ms. Campbell was asking, Paul, is High Street in Hackettstown still High Street, but they also call it M&M Way? It's got two, or did they actually change it? It's done that way? Okay, there you go. Anybody else tonight? Questions, comments?
Vizicki, 56 Puddingstone Way. That, as it was reported in the Express Times regarding the overpayment to Phillipsburg for the sewer charges for the past 15 years. I was just wondering, is there discussion on a possible refund to the residents for that amount, or is there discussion as to how to dispense?
It hasn't even been determined that it's what's owed yet, Ms. Rizicki. I mean, we filed a suit. They haven't even answered yet. I suspect they'll be asking us for an extension of time to answer. So literally, that discussion is like to keep the scale small, step 10, we're step 1. We don't have, it can be determined that they don't owe us anything. It can be determined that they owe us the whole 1 too. I have no idea. And then we can have a discussion as to how best to deal with it. But I don't even know yet.
Okay, thank you.
While you're here, no, this is an easy one.
Here we go.
I'm not going to argue. The folks at Avantor have indicated that there is leftover like filing cabinets, furniture from the old office complex, and they're offering it to the town. You might want to mention it to the school, to the Board of Ed too. That there's, and then either let Beth know or let me know. We'll let them know right away. Or just we'll probably be there the rest of the week. Send your custodial staff or somebody over to take a look. They're giving it to the town for whatever we want it for. And when we walked through the other day to kind of look through, I mean, there's not a lot left, but there are some things there.
Cabinets and whatnot.
There's quite a bit of stuff in there. Some artwork in there. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff in there. So if there's stuff that the school board is interested in, they don't have to buy, you might as well go take it.
We'll bring that forward to Rainey. Thank you.
Anybody else tonight? Questions, comments? Going once, going twice?
Carlos Correa, 82 Puddingstone Way. Now that we're videotaping the council meetings, is it possible that you get that videotape from tonight's meeting uploaded by Friday? Like instead of waiting a month from
We
now?
haven't decided what we're doing yet, if it's after we approve the minutes or.
Yeah, the practice had been to do it after they approved the minutes. I don't know why, but they just don't have them up that
Yeah,
fast.
because I mean, you have something on the website that tells you that the videotape has nothing to do with the approving of the minutes.
Right. So we
You
have to
disclose it
decide.
right on the website, so I don't see why you cannot post the videotape. You're automatically disclosing on the website that these videos are really not what the minutes are.
Thanks. We'll certainly take it under
You
advisement.
can just, and the other thing is that you guys can talk in the microphones because my camera cannot pick up the sound. The camera from here doesn't pick up the sound sometimes. When you look at the videotape that is uploaded from January 6th, the audio is not there sometimes
We're trying to get used to it.
because it's like Athena doesn't speak in the microphone. I over here.
It's something
Mike,
fairly new for us. We're all kind of getting used to it.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it because I mentioned it this
I appreciate
afternoon to Beth, to mention it to all you guys, and apparently
Point
maybe she didn't mention it
No, she did.
She did.
She did.
because, like what when Katrina talked, I could tell you.
Right.
Believe it or not,
I
it's
wouldn't
easy to
hear
forget. Sometimes you just answer a question and they don't think to lean forward. We're trying.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure I also have to try because it's probably not right now it is.
Right.
Well,
Now it is.
Yeah.
Now it is, but before it wasn't. So
Thanks
it's also
very
a
much.
learning experience for me. Okay, thank you.
Anybody else tonight? Questions, comments? Motion to adjourn?
Motion?
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
All right.
Thank you.